Rick with RallySport Direct here, and this is another episode of What's in the Box. Today we've got the IAG Street Air Oil Separator. Now this might be what put IAG on the map. Now they have continued to innovate and just kill it since then, but this is one of the first products that I remember IAG coming out with that I was just kind of, well, blown away. And I'm like, all right, IAG is incredibly legitimate, and yeah. And so this is what they call their street air oil separator. They also make a competition one, which of course would be more for a race application. This one's going to be more for a street application, but there's a few features on here that I absolutely love. First of all is just the look of it, right? It's just looks proper. It looks like it belongs in the engine bay. Everything's well thought out. You can actually turn these fittings, whichever way you want, because they've thought this through, and so it gives you a lot of flexibility during the installation. But it is specifically, they are vehicle specific, so they're ready just to drop in. And of course, you can find their instructions online. It does come with everything you're going to need to install it. All the zip ties, nicely bundled actually in a hose kit there. All the fittings you're going to need. Just everything, and even includes a little IAG sticker, and of course your mounting bracket, and a bunch of other just fittings and little odds and ends. Now installation on these, in my opinion, is not too difficult. It really should be able to be done in about an afternoon, but the whole point of an air oil separator, and I get this question a lot, air oil separator versus catch can, what's better and why? Well, a catch can and an air oil separator are designed on the outside to do the same thing. Naturally, air going back to the intake from the engine, it's just the way it's designed, is going to pick up oil vapor, sometimes oil droplets, and it's going to be sent back to the intake and then to be burned. We don't really want that. Anytime you have oil being introduced into the intake, you're going to effectively, lower power, obviously increase oil consumption, and you're just makes the engine more prone for damaging itself. And so by going with a proper air oil separator, you can completely strip the oil out of the air, and so all you're sending back to the intake is nice, clean air, which is exactly what you want. Now, a catch can is designed to do the same thing, but a catch can is essentially an empty can, or it might have a small baffle in it. It's just not as efficient as something like this, which has chambers and is engineered to, in any way possible, to get all of the oil out of that airstream and drops it down into here and then sends it back down into the engine. And so it really makes a big difference, honestly. If you remove your factory intercooler, remove a factory intercooler pipe, you're going to see a small film of oil if you don't have one of these. If you do have one of these, it should be completely clean. And that's evidence right there how effective these things are. Now, if you've got a bone stock car, you don't necessarily need one of these. It would be recommended, but it's not required. But if you either drive aggressively or you start modifying your car, something like this is, in my opinion, should be on your to-do list. Whether you do it now or you do it next year, but it should always, you should always have this at least on the list to put on your car, because it really does make a big difference. And it's unfortunate because it's not something that you're going to notice. You're not going to notice more power. You're not really going to notice anything. It's more long-term stuff. It's all about longevity of the engine and keeping the power where it should be, and just really it's the proper way to do it. And so I understand a lot of people, like, well, that's a lot of money. I'm not even going to get any power out of it. Doesn't look super cool in my engine bay, which I would actually disagree, but I understand. But if you really care about your car, you care about performance, you care about the longevity, you care about keeping the engine safe, something like this is required. Check it out. That's all the time we've got for you today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. I forgot to mention, it does come with literally all the hose that you're gonna need. I don't know why I didn't pull that out of the box, but what's nice is all the hoses have the fittings pre-built onto it, so you're not having to mess with your own fittings. Just, again, super high quality kit. That's all.